All praise to the Most High. Now we're dealing with part 10. And so it's important that we remember now. Remember that we're dealing with spirit. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. You have to really understand what that means when we say that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You have to understand that the Creator, when He made the creation, and the first thing He made in man was spirit, ruach. We keep narrowing ourselves down to looking into this fleshly body that we're trapped in, and believing that this is the whole. This is the idea. This is not that. So anyway, as we was dealing with Genesis, Bereshit, we was talking about in the first day, inside of the mind did He make heaven and earth, and that it was tohu vavohu. Then we looked up the word for tohu vavohu, which describes that it was chaos and confusion. So I'm letting you know that the world wasn't empty in this particular beginning. They mixed it so that they can throw us off. So what I mean when they say they mixed it, they make it seem like it was an empty world and it couldn't be chaos in an empty world. So how did you describe chaos when it was empty? It wasn't empty. It was a people there. It was a people dwelling in darkness. So then He said, let there be light. Then Yah reached into the darkness, enlightened His elect, the fallen ones from the war in heaven, and He separated it. Now He gave you the God mind again. He was able to take the light out of the darkness. And then what He did, so that's day 1. Day 2 of the creation of this new man, He made firmament, rakia. Now rakia is a vote. That means that He separated. He put a bridge between light and darkness so that they would never mix again. Then He put a vault in the heaven, or in the waters that are above the earth. He lifted water from the ground and put them in the sky. So technically, we're inside of a bubble that is protected, and that there's a realm that we have to go through in order to exit it. Said the vault of firmament in the heavens. What vault? Do you understand the word vault? A place something's kept. So then in the third day, He said, let there be vegetation. So now we're talking about letting the mind has the ability to spring forth seed after its kind. Then He gave us the ability to perpetuate or to give life or to continue to reproduce the Yah mind again. Now He gave us the ability to think, the ability to create ourselves. This is all what He developing in the mind before He took it into a body form. Then on the fourth day, He said, let there be luminaries. That means that He made visible now each other, that we would have guides now out of the darkness. So when you in doubt, or when there was a place where you would go sometimes in the mind, you have stars in the heaven and the moon and the sun, different things to illuminate you. All is still in the head. When you're saying, oh man, what am I going to do? He gave you luminaries. He created a bright system that will give you thought, that the angels, He said, let them serve as. So He's putting things in order according to His command. That would be an everlasting cycle of how He organized the universe in day 4. So these luminaries will be guides to keep us away from the dark. Even when you're in darkness, or even when you're in doubt, or even when you don't have understanding of something, He created luminaries that would allow you to follow these stars and follow this light that He put in the heavens for the evening time, to walk you back and keep you on track and stay into the light. Why do you think the Greeks and the Chaldeans and the Babylonians all were star readers, all was astronomers and astrologers? For one reason: the signals, the symbols, everybody's body has a shape in that billion stars that's in the heaven, and each one of them is made as an illuminator. It's your connection between the vault in heaven and the vault that's on the earth. We're reading in the stars. Those stars are your angels that have been assigned to watch over you. So that's day 4. So now we get into Kaf. So he said, Vayihi erev v'tov. Now, anytime when God said, and he saw that it was good, that means that he had completed it. He had completed that system. It was placed in order. When he said he saw that it was good, that means that he had already done it, and it was placed in order, and this is how that system will work forever and then ever until he do otherwise. These things are put in place as a perpetual system set up for man to work. Now, all this is happening while he's making the physical earth. He's developing the mind of man before he places him in the garden. So at the same time while he's working on the earth, while he's working on let there be light, this whole place, while he's organizing the universe, he's developing the mind of man to be able to perceive this reality, to be able to live here. So in a rebirth, berosh, inside of your head, did he create heaven and earth and start all of this. So then we get down to 20, verse 20, the first chapter of Genesis. Vayomar Elohim yis retsu hamayim sharatz nefesh chaya ve'of ya'uf al haaretz ve'al pnei rakia hashamayim. He's saying now, he says, and God said, let the waters teem with the teeming living creatures. Let the waters teem or match with the living creatures. So we know that Mayim represents a people. Mayim is a continuous flow of life. So he's talking about now, and spirit, let the waters. So he said, now let the animals. First of all, this is day 5. Day 5 is Yom Hey. Hey is the letter in the alphabet, the 5th letter in the alphabet, which is the ability to give life. Without Hey, nothing. Without the feminine. Hey is the feminine attribute of life. Ish is man, but without Isha, without that Hey, man cannot reproduce itself. Adama, Adam. So Adam, the first man, was taken from a female, which is what they call the earth, Adama, but Adama is a person. It's a living organism that produces life. We were born of a woman, then he reversed it and then took woman out of man the second time. But the original copy creation was raised from Adama. Efer ha-Adama did Adam come. So we talked about that. If you check some of our earlier videos, you understand what I'm trying to say there. Now, to show you what I'm leading to is to show you that everything in the creation was created first for one simple reason. All of Yah is everything that he made. All of this creation is God. Not just this simple individual. God was never an individual, but this whole life organism, this whole energy force, all is connected to one. So he said, and God said, let the waters teem with teeming living creatures, and the fowls fly above the earth and across the expanse of the heavens. And God created the great sea giants and great living beings that creeps, with which the waters teemed after their kind, and all the winged fowls of every kind. And God saw that it was good. And he blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters of the sea. But the fowls shall increase on the earth. And all there was evening and there was morning in the 5th day. Let's read it in Hebrew. He says, Vayomar Elohim yisratzu hamayim sharatz nefesh chaya ve'of ya'uf al haaretz al pnei rakia hashamayim. Vayivra Elohim et taninim hagdolim ve'et kol nefesh hachaya haromeshet asher shartzu hamayim leminehem ve'kol of kanaf למיניהו, וירא אלוהים כי טוב, ויברק אותם אלוהים ולאמר, פרו ורבו, ומלאו את המים וימים, בימים ועוף ירבה בארץ, ויהיה ערב ובוקר ביום חמישי. What are we saying here? Now in Hebrew it says that let them flow. We talking about spirit now. Everything was still in the form of a spirit, me'ortal, made from the mist. Like we did not have a physical form because everything was able to interact and change into each other. Just like they designed the submarine, designed the ships, designed the boats. All of that was already created. These particular animals, we were able to transform into them. We were able to use their spirit, interact. So if we needed to travel, we would travel by sea through the whale, end up on the next level. I'm trying to give you the concept of how this wasn't they didn't invent anything because there's nothing new under the sun. The bird is the airplane. But now because we trapped in this body and we are not a part of the whole, but we became an individual, that's why they keep talking about this one God. Because they want you to narrow and single yourself out and separate yourself from the creation. Walk with me, saints. Walk with me because we are cracking the codes now. We are getting that God mind back. I'm activating the heart brain again so that you can begin to remember who you are, how much power you have, why you've been held back so long. You are arise and shine, for the light has come. We're not worried about what these spirits are going to use. They're going to come into my bosom. My children are finna be under attack. They're going to use the mothers of the children to launch the attack because I never was supposed to get myself together. I wasn't supposed to walk back into the light. But like Job, I cursed the day I was born, but I wouldn't curse Yahweh. Yes, I was a sinner. Yes, I was an abuser. I did wrong. I did these things. But I turned back to Yah with my last breath and said, Father, I've sinned. The story of the prodigal son, when that son came back and the father, Yahweh, took off running. He said, I've been waiting on y'all. I'm telling you, you children of Israel, you are the prodigal son. Know that you are sleeping with swine. Know that you are serving the devil. And turn back to him. He will meet you not halfway. As soon as you turn around, you'll be faced with the Holy One of Israel again. And he will clothe you, and he will make a feast, and he will turn the hearts of your people back to you. He will give you Africa. He will give you Eden again. It's written. That's why they up in the game. That's why Trump has been put in office to harden you, to make you make brick without straw, so that you will cry out to Yah Yisrael so he could use his powers again. He's waiting on his children to wake up. Oh, we just getting warmed up because this is so critical. Now, the 5th day of creation is the day that he made Ba'alei Chayim. Now, Ba'alei Chayim is masters of life. Now, listen to me real good. The masters of life is what they call animals or beasts, Ba'alei Chayim. But why in Hebrew it's called masters of life? Because they were to rule, they was the masters of the life system. They were able to be, everything was connected. The trees, the this. So they were used. That's why they test animals to figure out how to fix humans. Ain't nobody thought of that? Ain't nobody thought about why they could cut a rat open to try to find out how our bodies can react? Because everything was created one. We was able to be the mouse and go underground. We able to be all of these things. This is what I'm talking about when he said, let us make man in our image. Who was he talking to? Some mythical spirit somewhere? No, he was talking to the creation that he made. Tree, let us make man in our image. Animals, whales, fish, birds, let us make man in our image. Each one of his creation that he created before he made man was us. Do you understand now? Because the animals have a soul. Because the trees have a soul. Because the waters is living organisms. So let us make man in our image. 75-80% of the body is made from water. The minerals that are in the earth is inside the body. So when he said, let us make man in our image, what image are we in then? Of everything. There are some animals that match the exact DNA of us. Or almost. They still guessing. I'm telling you from a spiritual point of view. They can't figure it out because it ain't for them to figure out. They're playing God and they're testing us. They're guinea pigging us. They're using us daily. experimenting on it, to try to find the secrets that he hid within the children of Israel. Do you know why they want you, brothers and sisters? Because the code is in your DNA. The very secrets to the foundation of the universe is in your DNA. So now, that's day 5. We're going to walk on through this to day 6 now. Wow. He says right here, 3rd day up and down the earth was submerged under water. Let's keep it moving. All right. He said, and God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures, and each according to its kind, animals and creeping things and beasts of the land, each according to its kind, and according to its kind, and every creeping being upon the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good, and Yahweh saw that it was good. Now he's saying that let each one of these things that I first made in a spirit to be connected to the whole, let them now, all of this is still manifesting in the mind of the man. So the brain is being developed at the time. The brain being the spiritual process. The program of what would be the invisible that goes in your head was already, it was a program being rewritten before he even started structuring a physical form of you. So he made the animals. Now, 1:26. And Yahweh said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. What does he mean when he said in our image? They shall rule over the sea, over the fish, over the birds, over the animals, over the whole earth, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Yahweh created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So now we're going into the fact that he's saying, let us make man in our image. Who is he talking to again? He's talking to everything that he had created before that. It didn't describe nobody else helping him at the time. He didn't say, let us, let there be light. He didn't say, let us make luminaries. He didn't say, let us. So then after he brought his host down and created this foundational earth and this visible, this thing that would become for man to keep. Now this is still after he has interfered with Satan's world, which was darkness, took light out of the darkness, and then separated it. He separated the two. So now once he established them, then he said, let us, trees, animals, birds, fowls of the air. Why would he create that? So who was he talking to when he said, let us make man in our image? Each one of them has the attributes of angelic forms. This ain't the same trees that we see. These are simulations of a lesser conscious mind. Jack and the Beanstalk, them little mythical things, those are real realities when a tree could go into the other atmosphere. And you was able to go into, man, it's deep. But if you're not in tune, if you don't know who you are, you can't see these things. Let us make man in our image. And he said in Hebrew what it says. 26, Kaf Vav. ויעשה אלוהים את חיית הארץ למינה ואת בהמה למינה וכל רמש האדמה למינהו ויראה אלוהים כי טוב ויאמר אלוהים נעשה אדם בצלמנו. Now in image, and it says in Hebrew when he says that let us make man, first of all Adam, the Aleph meaning the beginning of all things, and Dam meaning blood. A delit, a door. The beginning of all things will open up a door or an upliftment to eternal life. Those are the letters that describes the word Adam, which is what they call man. Adam was a magnetic field force, the beginning of all creation, one who can train himself to stay uplifted in eternal cycle of life according to Yah's will. And then he said, B'Tselmenu. He said, in our likeness, but in our likeness becomes a shadow, becomes a photocopy, becomes a picture. It becomes his heart will be righteousness, to learn and to teach life according to the faith that connects me to Yah. This is the thing when he said, Kedmutenu. He said, not just after our image, but actually the way we are. Kedmut. So he's talking about the elements being, each one of them will have the power to create man. Just like the cycle that I put you in, let us make man be like that. Kedmutenu, according to our behavior. When he said our likeness, what the things that we like to do, the likeness meaning this is what your purpose is. Let us make man in the image of our purpose. So now you will help you understand the fall of man. Ve'yirdu bidgat hayam ve'ofa shamayim. So then now they will be able to dress and address the field. Now it says right here, before they talked about man was by himself and the little stuff that they switched up in King James, the first thing it said was he made male and female. So then he made goddess and God with equal power. Adama and Adam. This is before Kava came. These are the deceptive part. This is where they changed it at. And if you continue to believe that the literacy of this book is the answer, then you're going to miss it. Because you have eyes and see. Now you've been reading this for 1,000 years and you ain't seen and heard what I'm trying to tell you right now. I gotta go again. So he says right here, the fish of the sea, the birds, the animals, let us have dominion of the whole earth and every creeping thing on earth. So God created man in his image, in the image of Yahweh. He created him male and female. He created them. What is he talking about? So how does it read the other way around? It's not good that man should be alone. That means that something had already taken place before man got alone. Because it says specifically that he had both of them. And this is still before we took a fleshly form. We're talking about a spirit now. Because one of the words of naked means that they had skin of mist, meaning that they were like clouds. Didn't it say that the Creator appeared in a pillar of cloud? It kept saying, describing mist and spirit in another realm. Because this is how we're going to find out how we fell into this body and became trapped, and then now we're not a part of the whole. We can't be in the image of the tree. We can't be in the image of the earth. That's why man is so destructive to the earth, because they don't know how to get back. We trapped in this body, and in this body is the only way Satan can penetrate through the body. Is his spirit only control. He couldn't go. He separated light from darkness. That means that Satan's spirit cannot get into your spirit. That's what the vote is. The vote was to keep the two powers, to keep light and darkness completely separate. They boxed in. But the only way that they were able to meet good and evil was when it entered into a flesh, and we can't change anymore. We can't become the tree. We can't become the well. We can't become the water. Are you with me? We finna get it back, because I'm finna show you how to resist and extract Satan. Be right back. Let me just read it in Hebrew. Because you need to know now that if he said to man to be in the image, to have dominion over the earth, that means that when Adam named, his order was to name the animals, then he had to be able to communicate with the animals in order to give them names. Because how would they know who they were? Think about it now. The dominion over the sea. That means that all the way down to the jellyfish, he wasn't getting in no submarine. He became water. You seen Airbender. This stuff is real. They hiding the truth from you. All right.